Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. March 21st. Hey, spring was yesterday, first day of spring. Believe me, I know it's been knocking on the door. We've been out there. It is Gmo Tuesday. Gmo Tuesday. Going to touch a little bit about Donald Trump saying drain the swamp. We're going to tie Monsanto to the swamp. I think you all know how I feel about Monsanto. I think they need to be taken out and slapped around. They need to be financially hurt. And the good thing about that right now is 700 new lawsuits. I believe that's what the number was in the last couple, like in the last month, it popped up on Monsanto. In that Bay Area. Petaluma Seed Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Petaluma Seed Bank, 707-773-1336. Part of the Baker Seed Company back there in St. Louis, Missouri. Good organization. Really cool shop. Check it out. Petaluma Seed Bank. They're right there on the corner. Really gorgeous building. Very, kind of got that homey, old-fashioned town look to it. And let's not forget Mary's Heirloom Seeds. There's you can get a hold of Mary down there in San Ramon, 760-870-4555. She's got the starter kits for your herb gardens, for your lettuce gardens, for your green leafy vegetable gardens. She's got artichokes going on down there too. So and of course, if you're a chef, she does the edible flowers. And you know, and even if you're not a chef, fellas, trust me, girls like them flowers, especially, they just like flowers, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe just because they smell pretty or something, but, so let's not forget them. And I can't forget my buddy back there in the Keystone State, Marla Dawn Gates. Check her blog out, Organics for Greener Livings, I think it is. We'll get her, We'll get our blog site before we get out of here today. But let's talk about, and don't forget beyondgm.org. They got great information over there. I'm going to read you, as many of you know, let's talk about draining the swamp for just a minute. Okay? Draining the swamp for just a minute. Boy, I can't read this here. It's that small. Whenever you encounter large-scale environmental injuries of this kind, you see the subversion of democracy and the corruption of government agencies and public officials who are supposed to protect us. That's a quote from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Of course, he's talking about the glyphosate issue in the food supply. It's everywhere. This litigation makes clear that Monsanto's expertise in deploying these techniques is unparalleled. Of course, he's talking about the Monsanto propaganda machine, ladies and gentlemen. The Monsanto propaganda machine. And you will find the Monsanto propaganda machine on every level. On every level. I'm going to pull some stuff up, man. This is how scandalous this company is. They've made scientists up. Okay? Let's start with this one right here. Judge ordered over there in San Francisco last week, folks, he ordered that emails be released. They didn't have a choice. So, let's see here. But some of the emails are coming out. Per our phone call with John the other day, this is from William Haydn's to Donna Farmer. Per our conversation with John the other day, the next two most important things that we need to do are meta-analysis publication and the Egg Health Study follow-up publication, assuming we can get our hands on the data in a reasonable time frame. I feel confident that we have the organizational support for doing these projects. They want the metadata so they can adjust algorithms so when you Google something, you go to them and they take you to a propaganda website. For the meta-analysis, please contact Elizabeth and let her know we would like her, Ellen, to do this and get a cost estimate from her. This is all. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. This is all pecuniary greed. You're looking at, you're seeing it at its highest levels in our government. The person that just ran for president got $325,000 to speak at a luncheon. The gist of the conversation was, drought-resistant corn sounds a lot better than genetically modified corn. You can sell drought-resistant corn. Genetically modified corn sounds like Frankenfood. Yeah, she is the bride of Frankenfood, ladies and gentlemen. The overall possibility or plausibility paper that we discussed with John, where he gave, the Butadiene example. I'm still having a little trouble wrapping my mind around that. If we went full bore involving experts from all major areas, tox, genetics, and they got all these abbreviations in there for various departments that they need to get people on board. Remember, this involves all kinds of science, genealogy, toxicology reports, all kinds of stuff. So they have all these people. There's one report, and we ghostwrite the exposure tox and gene tox sections. In other words, you're going to have somebody pretend to be a scientist to write the papers for them. That's what this company does, ladies and gentlemen. They fake, and I'm going to go back 1917. John Queeny asked the United States government to sue him under the Food Safety Act because they have saccharin in the food. They did not sue Coca-Cola, who should have been sued because Coca-Cola was putting it in the food, ladies and gentlemen. And this was how Monsanto developed their propaganda game, what I call the Monsanto propaganda machine, because for 8 or 11 years, from 1917 to 1928, they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In 11 years, ironically, John Queeny steps down in 1928 and his son takes over. Kind of just set him up, didn't he? Put him right on a tee, didn't he? Yes, he did. But the biggest thing right now that Monsanto is doing, not just with the lawsuits, of course, all kinds of lawsuits going on, but they're talking a solution to the corn rootworm. Yeah, promises. I don't know about this company. All they've done is make promises. And here we have, let me see here. They promise to resolve world hunger. They promise to use less pesticides, less herbicides. They promise to have less bugs, have less weeds, have less... And it's all a lie. None of that is true. We have bigger, stronger bugs. We have bigger, stronger weeds. They're using more toxic herbicides and insecticides now. And oh, by the way, those people in Africa are still starving to death. You ain't fed nobody. Quit lying to us. Quit lying to us. See, here's what they have. They promise solutions. Promise solutions. And then all of a sudden we have an oops moment. And we have a cutworm that's chewing your big toe or something. I that might be a little extreme. But we have a bug that we don't need. I don't understand how in the last 100 years we have needed all this chemical agriculture. When for 10 billion years, we're okay. I'm not, for 10 billion years, we don't have 90 million new medical ailments that need a chemical. Kind of weird how that works, huh? Yeah, but good article over in the Huffington Post, ladies and gentlemen. Go take a look at it. And it's exposing some of the stuff. Monsanto wheat killer deserves deeper scrutiny as scientific manipulation has been revealed. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, scientific. They've manipulated the data. They've manipulated the science. Let's see what this email said here. This one here was a pretty good one too. But let me see. I've read the report, agree with the comments. There are various things that can be done to improve the report. However, let's step back and look at what we are really trying to achieve here. We want to find, develop someone who is comfortable with the gene tox profile of glyphosate Roundup and who can be influential with regulators and scientific outreach operations when gen tox issues arise. My read is that Perry is not currently such a person. It would take quite some time and money and studies to get him there. We simply aren't going to do the studies Perry suggests. Mark, do you think Perry can become a strong advocate without doing this work, Perry? If not, we should seriously start looking for one or more other individuals to work with. Even if we think we can eventually bring Perry around closer to where we need him, we should be currently looking for a backup Gentox supporter. In other words, Perry's not going to lie for us right now. We don't have the money to invest in him. Let's find somebody else to do it for us. That's what's going on here. And this was from Mark Martins to Larry Keir. I'm not sure. Donna Farmer was also included on that. The subject is the Perry report. Importance is high, and it's from Monsanto. Oh boy. So that is what they do. That is part of their propaganda game. They go on and on and on and on and on, and they run in circles, and then they get people on social media. They pay flunkies to, give them cheat sheets to use and tell you that you're crazy, you're scientifically illiterate, you're a technological phobia, you're a Chicken Little crying the sky is falling, and oh, by the way, you don't like farming. I've been told that too. In the news category right now, people in Oregon, they're pushing legislation through on a state and local level that the local farmers can sue Monsanto or the patent holders of the products that are contaminating their land. Remember, when they did all this with the GMO, Monsanto pushed for all kinds of very strong organic certification regulations and processes. If your land gets contaminated, it takes a minimum 3 to 5 years to uncontaminate it to be relicensed and certified as an organic producer. So when Bozo Monsanto next door, he knows the wind is going to blow. He knows the birds are going to shit. He knows the bee is going to take the poison pollen over to you. They know that. Make no mistake about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a billion, zillion, gazillion dollar company. I don't know how many products Monsanto has. They have thousands and thousands of products. Last year, their portfolio was like all the other products. They profited $6.3 billion. $6.3 billion on all their other products. On glyphosate alone, they profited $1.9 billion. Don't tell me this is not about money. This is pecuniary greed at its highest levels. I'm telling you. Look at what's going on here. Look at who they're talking about. And now, let's talk about the biggest fake news to come along in a long time. But before we go there, I want to talk to you just again for a minute about this local thing in Oregon. This is how it's coming back to the state states' rights issues, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening here. So if you know how to put something together in your community, put something together in your community. Right now, on Twitter, my campaign, drain the swamp. Donald Trump wants to drain the swamp. Isn't that what he has said? I'm telling you right now, if we don't give him the tools and don't provide him the information that he needs to drain the swamp, he can't do it. So, my proposal, and it's my campaign, I've been doing it now for a while. Every day I send a tweet to Donald Trump, to the POTUS, to Sean Spicer, to Kellyanne Conway. I try to include as many people as I can in these tweets. And I attach some article, a photograph, whatever, something nice. Mr. President, please get the poison out of our food. Please get the poison out of our food. It takes 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine if he was getting 5, 6, 7 million of those tweets a day. I want you guys to think about that. Ronnie Cummings, Zen Honeycutt, Vani Hari, Andrew over at the Center for Food Safety, Andrew Kimbrell. You guys have massive mailing lists. Huge followings. John and Robert Ocean with the Food Network and the Food Revolution Summit. You guys have huge, huge followings. What do you think is going to happen when 20 million tweets and the internet blows up with, please get the poison out of my food? Please get the poison out of our food. I'm on Twitter at Alladay LLC, right there, Alladay LLC. You'll find me on Twitter. You touch base with me on Twitter. I say thanks. I say something to you, and we talk to the president. Please get the poison out of our food. That is how my campaign is working, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest fake news. Fake news alert. Fake news alert. Fake news alert. Fake news alert. It is a bold-faced lie. It's not even fake news. It is a disgusting, rebaudiating lie. It is the biggest rebaudiating lie I have heard in some time. When I thought it was a parody, a joke. When I found out it was real, I threw up in my mouth. I was that upset. McDonald's claims, Mickey D's, that's right, Mickey D's, is claiming to have the most nutritious food in the world. Let's make no mistake about this, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about this at all. They made a big deal. Them and Frito-Lays and Laura Scudder's. We're not using GMO potatoes. We can't. No. We can't do the GMO potato. Can't do the GMO potato. And you know what? The GMO potatoes taste like crap. I did an experiment with them. We got some. We showed them. There's 11. Check the YouTube station out, folks. There's 11 videos on them. Number 10, number 9 are the ones that talk about the food and comparing them to other potatoes. And number 11 is what happened after it set out in the winter. It just turned to powder and yuck, and ew, it looks awful. But Mickey D says they have the most notorious food in the world. It's been reported. The first report I heard was Alex Jones reported that the other day, a few days back. But it's on the Huffington Post, the Patriot News, Natural News, everything. Take their food. It has glyphosate in it, I guarantee you, because everything they do is genetically engineered products go into their products. All the ingredients for their food is genetically modified, folks. So the big ruse, we're not using GMO potatoes. Poppycock. You got GMO corn, wheats. I'll bet you glyphosate is everything they have. I bet glyphosate is in everything you test that they sell. You can have it tested, and I bet you find glyphosate in it, ladies and gentlemen. So, local control, consumer buying, consumer power, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the tips of the day. Start locally. Start working with your legislatures locally to stop GMO production in your area if that's what you don't want GMO stuff growing there. And remember, consumer power. Consumer power is huge, ladies and gentlemen, huge. Marla Dawn Gates back there, MDG blogger. You'll find her on Twitter. Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I got the rain outside today. It's a water day in the desert. That's a good day. It's always a good day when there's water in the desert. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.